Greetings and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to go over my first impressions of Chaos Zero Nightmare. I played it the other day live on stream, and I wanted to make a video talking about it and how I feel about the game right now. One thing I am going to say right off the rip is I am excited about the future of this game for various reasons that we're going to get to in this video. But the first thing we're going to talk about is the gacha system. Now, for the gacha system, it is a 50-50, which is unfortunate, but I will take that with a lower pity count. See, the pity count for Chaos Zero Nightmare is soft pity 58, and I think 70 for the hard pity. That is what I read, but that could be changed or different. So I'm going off of information that I'm aware of recording right now. I am a fan of the lower pity count, but it would be nice if the 50-50 is gone, but as I said, I will take that with the lower pity count because it does make other gacha games compete for your time by having a lower pity count or doing something radical like either taking away the gacha system or getting rid of the 50-50 system. But that is pretty much how the gacha system works. Oh, one more thing about the gacha system. Instead of a weapon banner, they have a partner banner, which is pretty much the same exact thing as a weapon banner for the characters. You get duplicates of these partners, you can refine them to level 5, and you have certain ones that are better with 5 stars. It's pretty much a weapon banner. You can just pretty much consider it a weapon banner. I think it's the same pity, 70 hard pity and 58 soft pity. That's pretty much how the gacha system works for Chaos Zero Nightmare, and I do think it is a good thing that they went with the lower pity to bring more players over to this game and stay competitive with other gacha games that are like 3D and other stuff like that. Now, for the gameplay, I'm not going to go super in-depth on it because I don't really understand how much of it works right now because I'm not really that far into the game. I'm only on chapter 2 and I've played it about for 3 or 4 hours. So instead of individual health bars for each character, your entire team has a health pool, which when it drops to 0, you obviously will lose. But each character has a stress meter, which when full will cause them a mental breakdown, and they will become erratic and reducing your team's HP by 1/3. You can get rid of it by using special cards that get replaced in your deck, and I'll talk about how the deck works in a little bit, but getting rid of those will bring your character back. Now, you do have a total amount for a draw pile. You got ego skills and ego points, which is basically when you're using abilities, it's pretty much your alt meter, which you can alt when full on characters. Now, each card has a cost for AP points because the way the decks work is you have AP points, which allows you to use a certain amount of abilities. It's like Honkai Star Rail's AP points when you use a character ability. It's how they balance the characters working with each other. Now, cards do have attributes like think elemental stuff for Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves. But action points are required to use the cards. When you go to end a round and if you have remaining AP, they will be lost at the end of your turn. Now, one thing I do not know if you can run out of cards because it seems like you have a finite amount of cards. You have like 21 total, and I don't know if you can run out or it refreshes when the battle goes on for too long. Now, before I talk about how some of the boss stuff and enemy stuff works, I'll tell you how the combat works. I'll give you a brief overview of how the combat exactly works. So you got 3 characters, you can mix and match them. Each character does have a few healing cards, but there are characters that are dedicated to certain roles, like weakness breaking enemies or dedicated healing. Now, healing can reduce stress, but it will say it on the cards. But you do not have to bring a healer or bring a character that does specialized damage for weakness, but it is advised that you do that. It makes fighting enemies a lot easier. But you really don't have to because each character does do a bit of damage to attribute weaknesses, which is pretty much what it's called. I'm just going to keep calling it weakness break because a lot of people that play Honkai Star Rail know what I'm talking about. So now on to the enemies, and I have a rough understanding about how combat works. Enemies can have certain resistances. They can either summon enemies, they can do debuffs, and really, now for the enemies and bosses you will face, they will have weakness break shields that you can break to cause massive damage to them. They can also apply debuffs to you. Now, there is an auto battle, which it's usable in certain stuff, it seems like, but not story stuff. So you are forced to actually play the game in certain sections of the game, which is not a bad thing. But enemies can provide buffs and debuffs to themselves and you. They can also summon bosses, and they have their own cards that they can use. But when you have used all of your cards and you can see how much health that the boss has or the enemy has left, there is a little check mark you can click to end your round, and then the boss will attack, and it's essentially just rinse and repeat until one of you are dead. Either the boss or enemy is dead or you are dead. Now, the way the cards work is there are multiple types of cards, and they can cost a certain amount of AP points that to use, or you can have a card that you can sacrifice to gain AP points back. There are several types of cards: attack, skill, and upgrade, and ones that inflict debuffs and buffs on your team and enemies. There are also attributes to each card: passion, void, instinct, order, and justice. I'm not going to go into what exactly they do because it's going to turn into a 30-minute video. But there are certain cards that can have card tags that will tell you what type of card they are. Either they can do special types of stuff, you'll see a special animation for it, and that type of stuff. Cards can also have effects on them. Each character has their own type of cards, and you can form a type of synergy with these cards. If you played Wuthering Waves, you would think of Peaks of Prestige. It's somewhat similar to like that when you're matching Tacit Discords together like that. But overall, it may sound a little overwhelming, but when you get used to it, which you get used to it pretty early on into the game, it's actually a lot of fun to play. And I'm really digging the combat. And well, if you're not a big fan of that, you do have some eye candy with certain characters on, because they pretty much have their skirt flying up, and they give you the best view of some of the characters in their outfits when you're prepping a card. You'll see it when you play the game, and maybe I'll show a little bit of it on screen. But that is pretty much how the cards work. And now we're going to get in my overall thoughts on how I feel about the game so far. And really, it's just mainly my first impressions. I'll also be adding timestamps so you can skip around if you don't want to listen to me yap about how the game works. So I'm a little bit mixed, but overall positive on this game right now, on Chaos Zero Nightmare. I'm a little worried on how stingy they're going to be in future patches with pull counts and that type of things because of the lower pity. But based on what I've seen so far, I think it has a bright future on it if you can retain a core audience. Now, I think there's going to be a die-hard audience because of the type of skins that they have on the characters and the type of skins that they're offering for characters or going to be offering for characters. But I really like the take of the combat they introduced into the game. It's not just generic turn-based where you do an attack like Honkai Star Rail, and I like how they combine all characters' health into one pool. I like the way the cards work. You can use the cards to combine into each other. You can sacrifice a card. I like the type of debuffs and how you don't have to just worry about your health bar. You also got the stress bar, which can cause a mental breakdown. Now, if I didn't explain what a mental breakdown is, I think I did, but you'll get it when you play the game. The mental breakdown can completely screw you or just screw your run. I will say this about the mental breakdown: the debuff screens are very well, how would I put this? Interesting. I think this game is rated 18. I really wouldn't be surprised with the skins, but then again, there are other gacha games that are even worse than this, and they're rated 16 or 12, and it's just ridiculous how stuff is rated, but that's a different subject. But overall, I am very, very, very excited for the future of this game. I think I'm going to continue playing this game in my free time because I really don't play gachas in my own free time. I mean, I used to play Honkai Star Rail a lot in my free time, but really with Penkani, I kind of just fell out with the game and I don't really play it that much anymore. And Wuthering Waves, I mean, the story is great and the combat's great, they're just not utilizing it, but that's a different video for another time. But overall, I'm very hopeful for the future of this game. They just have to really do things right and not pull a Black Beacon and completely forget about the global community. I am a little bit worried about that after seeing that whole fiasco and experiencing that. But overall, like I said, I'm excited to play more of it on stream, and I'm excited to play a little bit more of it on my own free time. But if you like the video, I know I keep saying but a lot, but if you like the video, subscribe and actually like it. I greatly appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.